In Asia Pacific, we are routinely ahead of the pack globally when it comes to our leadership position for ESG in real estate. The question is no longer, is this realistic? It is, how do we do this in a cost-effective and practical way? A transition to net zero in the energy sector is already happening through more and more renewable energy sources making up a higher proportion of our electricity grid. Our buildings can definitely be powered by 100% renewable energy sources, and many existing buildings are currently cycling out equipment that consumes gas on site and committing to electrification as part of their development strategy. This is supported by industry frameworks such as Green Star Buildings mandating electrification as the only pathway to a 6-star rating.
In a similar way, electrification has seen a growth in interest for existing assets and new developments across broader Asia Pacific in response to investor and occupier demand to really meet their net zero obligations. Electrification is seen as really the next form of energy efficiency for occupiers, and it's really fast becoming a must-have for those with net zero targets. Those occupiers do not want to be paying to offset gas systems on an annual basis when it comes time to assess their organisational footprint, particularly when the offset market can fluctuate, impacting stability.
And this is a cost-saving exercise for both parties. By reconfiguring our buildings to consume electricity as the only source of power rather than on-site gas and diesel, we are aligning with the industry as part of the natural decarbonisation process. In Australia, the current energy mix that powers our buildings is diverse. These on-site and off-site sources range from intensive fossil fuels, coal, diesel and gas, to renewable energy including solar, wind and hydro. As renewables in the grid increase in percentage, buildings powered by electricity are naturally decarbonising in line with grid power. Our reporting systems are now set up to recognise this transition and allow organisations with net zero targets to capture cost savings associated with electricity-based consumption. Buildings consuming gas and diesel on site are not afforded this luxury and must offset the equivalent emissions. The take-home message is, if equipment that consumes gas or diesel is being replaced in existing buildings or specified as part of a new development, that asset is automatically at a disadvantage in our rapidly carbon-constrained economy.
This isn't just a nice environmental initiative to pursue. This strategy, if executed during the appropriate timeframes, will be far more cost-effective in meeting and exceeding net zero targets. We are now moving closer to 2030, where a large proportion of landlord targets have been established. By pursuing a strategic mix of initiatives, organisations will have time to deliver on their targets if they begin sooner rather than later. By working with market forces and understanding occupier demand, landlords can turn this trend into a lucrative investment strategy for their portfolio.
We are in a unique position to play a key advisory role to guide landlords and occupiers in Asia Pacific and help them navigate this rapidly evolving space.